So, there are some deers. And over there is the Silted Lake Part 2. Let's go. First find of the day. Some retouch. Maybe it was a scraper. Bulbous is down here. No idea what it was. Nice patina, Mesolithic, I think. Moving on. Next find. Should be a drill. Bulbous down here. Vanna lines. A lot of retouch. Should have been a drill. Or maybe also a burren. But I think it was a drill. Looks Mesolithic. Moving on. And what is this? Could be some kind of blake core. Not that perfect. As you can see that they take some spells off. Looks Neolithic. But I just leave it here in the field. Because on this edge I'm searching for Mesolithic stuff. Moving on. And the first nice scraper of the day. Bulbous down here. A lot of platform damage. But on this edge you got the scraper retouch. And what is this? You can see Weiner lines. What I think. Just some kind of waste piece. Moving on. Again, I'm just searching for clearly Mesolithic stuff. I think also the fox was here hunting for goose. We will see. Moving on. Depending on the bottom, it's a complete different spot. That is mostly clay. But there is a former shoreline from the silted lake. Oh, this grass, this green stuff is growing. So here's another spell. No retouch, no nothing. Just a spell. But the former shoreline makes it exciting. So, and there are a few, as I mentioned before in the videos, there are a few settlements. But that is not that well reported. Just from my side I know that there's something. But we'll take an eye on it and then we will see. Maybe it's just a short video. I'm not 100% sure with it, but it kind of looked like that it was once a scraper. But it's a really hefty one, so should be Neolithic. And everywhere are spells, but no retouch, just spells. Okay, moving on. And another tool of unknown function. Down here is the bulbous and retouch on this side. That was nearly unworked, this part. But you get some retouch over here, but most is here. I think it was again a drill or some kind of burren, or even a combined tool. No idea. Okay, moving on. And again, something that looks like burren. Just a little bit retouch on this part. But you got retouch over here. So I think it was a burren used like this. Just to work natural piece. And it should be, if you look at this, some kind of scraper. bulbous could be down here, but I just leave it here. Okay, moving on. And another burren, I have no idea. Some retouch on the tips. Should be a work natural piece. Mostly, I think it's Neolithic. Again a spare. No retouch. But in the end I'm just hoping for some Mesolithic stuff. I don't think I find something that is older. And again, some kind of spell. Here is some retouch. Should have been made for arrow shafts. Something quick they can use. A just-in-time tool. Okay, moving on. And another small burren. Here you can see some retouch, but it's all Neolithic. So I just do collection videos if there's not something special. Okay, moving on. And what is that, a microlith? No, nothing. Okay, bye. Now something that looks like part of a blade core. I think it's just a half of it, because this break looks a little bit fresher. But this, there you can see that they take some initial strikes, but the stone was really hingy. I have no idea. It hinged a lot, so I think it just discarded. Anyway, nice. Neolithic, I think, maybe early Neolithic, but soil is really acidic. You can see it because the farmer put chalk on it. Maybe that also caused a little bit patina, this brownish, because it's here you can see this chalk stuff, because it was humus or peat moss. I think it was peat before he put it in, he make farmland of it. Okay, moving on. Well, there was not much from this hill down there, and then I searched the old shoreline. There was nearly nothing the whole way. Now, nearly in this place, I just found this chunky scraper. It's got a slight patina, but not that much. So it's also not the prettiest one. Then I found this spell. Then this, I think it's a burren. It should be some burren or hollow scraper. But it also, then it should be all Neolithic. Then this small spell. I don't call it a microlith because it got not the right shape. And then this nice brownish colored burren made of a flake. Bulbous was down here, but that's the first interesting thing. That should be Mesolithic, but it's not that much. And some pieces where I could say it has been by nature. Okay, moving on. If there's something, I make a collection. And now finally the first piece of a nice blade. Well-patinated, should have been Falster flint. There you can see. So well-patinated, this nice striped color. So that looks better. And also I got, wait, this nice reddish one. There you can see some retouch. It's not the prettiest one, just chunky. Okay, moving on. So I just found this barren or hollow scraper, I have no idea. Get a hell lot of retouch all around, even on the negative side. Here you can see the bulbous, platform damage, and over here double barren, I have no idea, or just a hollow scraper. Then I got this one. Again, there's a lot of retouch over there. Maybe they use it as a barren, but it's not that nice made. Bulbous, some platform damage, Warner lines, everything is there. Just an ugly tool. And then I got this one. That's not a tool, but it got another special thing, because it looks like, in the German literature they say it looks like orange skin, and that is flintstone that has been exposed to the nature since the time between the last two ice ages, or even older. So that is what happened when it's sandblasted by two ice ages. So you don't find it that often. It's really smooth, so it's nearly 100% sure that it's this kind of stone. I also got one at home that is so smooth you can nearly not feel when you go over it with it. It looks like it was lacquered, lacked, put varnish on, varnished. That's the correct term. So, no, nothing, just a spell. Looks Neolithic. So, and now I'm just running in a snake line, and then I'm also done for today, because again it's really hot. So, and this is and again there's a retouch. I think it's a hollow scraper. It once hinged, and then they just burn strike some kind of hollow scraper or something. I have no idea, but in the end it's something, but that is nothing. Okay, moving on. And now I got something that looks promising, that is much older than the rest of the stuff, because you can see how well it's patinated, nearly 1 millimeter or something like this, and it got some retouch on this side, so it could be some kind of handheld or even hefted kind of scraper from the hunter-gatherer era, and somewhere there 1.5 kilometers or 2 kilometers away I found this Bromme point and some other Paleolithic stuff. So it could be also that these guys have been here. And it's also because in former time there was a small drainage. You can see, I don't call it valley, but this lowering in the hills. And down here, this small creek was running in this silted area of the lake. And these Bromme guys nearly always put their tent where water was flowing inside a bigger lake. And again, some kind of ugly scraper, really rough made. Wind polished, could be a little bit older. Here you can see some slight retouch. And they got two negatives, one positive, one negative. Positive side. Here's a negative from another spell. Oops, there I drop it, I just leave it here. But the big one I take with me. That looks promising. Okay, moving on. And again, a scraper, but it got this really nicely made pearly style retouch, made of a flake. Bulbous down here, got a hell lot of wind polish on this side, and due to the color it could be Mesolithic, maybe even a little bit older. I think once it got a little bit retouch over here, also got retouch all around this side. So it could be late Paleolithic. I just will throw it all on the desk from my most loved archaeologist, and he could say something. It's always difficult with scrapers because especially these disc scrapers they used nearly the whole time in the Stone Ages, all periods. It's just how good they are made. The later in the timetable, the rougher it gets. Because, as I said in a previous video, the later it gets in the Stone Age, the more they lose their skills due to bronze and copper and everything. Okay, but at first I'm moving on. As I said, I'm just moving back and forth, and then we will see. Okay, moving on. And that is one of the most classic burns I found. On this side you got this burn strike, and in the tip you got this retouch to form this nicely made burn. So you can see, I don't know if you can see some hues. It looks like there's some, but not that much. But could be Mesolithic, but the color doesn't fit. It looks also like a natural piece, but why not? There's some retouch over there to dull it a little bit. Wow, nice. Maybe I will put a photo on it from Peter Wang-Petersen, Danish guy who make a very nice book where you can see, where you can find nearly all styles of this Danish and North German flint knipping styles from the early Stone Age, the earliest guys from Neanderthal and something like that, and even, oh, that was just a leaf, to the latest guys in the Bronze Age and mosquitoes. And again, this should be this should be scraper, not the prettiest one, should be a natural piece. Then we also got this, I don't call it a flake scraper, but it looks like that they reused some natural pieces, but I'm not 100% sure where the working as edge is. Somewhere there, I have no idea. Maybe it was once hefted. No clue. Just leave it. And a spell. Just a spell. There's some slight retouch, could be also done by Plo, but I think it's done by the maker. Maybe a Baron. Yes, that was a working edge. I think so. Okay, moving on. And at first it was laying like this. I thought it was a blade, but I think it's a Baron or something other handheld. But I think this could be some retouch that they had it like this. But most of the retouch is over here. Maybe they make some Baron of it. Not the prettiest one. Also just leave it. Moving on. Just a nice spell. And what is this? This should be the bulbous. But there's nothing. Okay. Just put the camera away. Here's the next Baron. Bulbous. Some damage. But it was really rough made. Some kind of Baron strike. And this Baron corner, you can also see that it's roughed. They used it. Moving on. So slowly it gets ridiculous. Also here some retouch. Some kind of hollow scraper or a Baron, I have no idea. Looks like, a little bit looks like a natural piece. Crazy. Today is a scraper day. This is nothing. Okay, moving. So this could be a drill. There's some retouch. Should be Neolithic, natural piece. Then you got this, I think it's a Baron. There's some retouch. Don't know what they use it. And then a well-aged spell where they just take this part off. And this should be also, because there's some retouch, should be also some kind of Baron. Okay, moving on. Slowly it gets tiring. But there are no bleed cores. Nothing. And also no axis. I want axis. Okay, nothing. Okay, moving on. Yes, at first I thought this is a really big trapezoid arrowhead, was spear point, because this was retouched on this side. But I think it's just some kind of scraper or Baron. Because normally it should be, if it was a beer or elk point, it was hefted like this, flying in this direction, but that is totally dull. There's nothing you can hunt with this. And another hollow scraper. They were preparing a lot of arrows in this area, it looks like. Okay. So that's it for today. Maybe the last time I go over there. Or I have to finish this meltwater sands area. So but now, at first I go home. Bye bye.